All right, so the review embargo is finally up. I am very, very excited about this. Get ready for the spoiler-free review of the upcoming Pixar movie, Onward. Welcome to the newest episode of SDW.
Super Dario World!
It's a me,
Dario!
Woohoo! Let's go!
Alright, so before I get into it, let me just give you a quick reminder that you can listen to the podcast anywhere. SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, the iHeartRadio app, everywhere. You can just find it, type in Super Dario World Podcast, you find it right there. But any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can reach out to me at Dario the Show on Instagram or at SuperDario_World. Also, follow me on Facebook. It's the easiest way for you to contact me is right there. I appreciate all the people who have given me your thoughts about my best animated horses list. I appreciate that you're as passionate as I am, and actually I was a little bit shocked that a lot of you haven't seen a particular movie that's kind of important in that list, but I digress. I'm not going to spoil that. If you want to listen to it, you can listen to it. I'm not going to spoil it. Anyway, so about this movie, straight off the bat, whenever I do a review, I always, the big question that I'm going to answer here is it worth your money? Movies are expensive. It's at least over $10 to go to movie theaters here in the U.S. Is this movie, is Onward, worth your money? The answer is yes. A hard yes, definite yes for me. I'm actually planning on seeing it again, but I'll get into that in a minute. So let me just give you what's the movie about? What's the story about? So the movie stars Tom Holland, who plays Spider-Man in the MCU, and Chris Pratt, who, well, you may know him from Parks and Rec. He plays Star-Lord in the MCU. Kind of a big name, two big name actors there. And it's the Pixar movie. The director's really kind of an unknown. He directed Monsters University, Dan Scanlon. But, all right, the movie is about, well, I'll read you the description straight out of IMDb, and then I'll tell you what it is. Remember, this is spoiler-free. Hate spoilers? I won't do that to you. Spoiler-free. Here it goes. Set in a suburban fantasy world, two teenage elf brothers embark on a quest to discover if there is still magic out there. All right, right off the bat, that description is totally wrong. But if you see the trailer is actually fairly accurate of what the movie is about. And it's basically a movie about two brothers and an opportunity to spend a day with their dad, right? It's a race against time to spend time with their father, who is deceased. So that's the premise of the movie. And it's set in a fantasy world, but it's a world that's moved on from magic and into technology, right? So you got magical creatures there. There's centaurs, there's mermaids, there's a whole bunch of stuff. But the world has adopted, modern technology, or they created their own form of technology, and they moved on from magic. That's that world. Again, the movie comes out March 6th, 2020, so next Friday. And okay, no, not next Friday, 2 weeks from now. Yeah, 2 weeks from now. Oh my God. I'm living in a completely wrong week. Wow. Okay. So, I highly recommend this movie. Right off the bat, when I walked out of there, I have to say this might be my favorite Pixar film. Now, that's my immediate gut reaction after seeing the movie. I have to see it again so that I can, because I just sat through it. I enjoyed it as a fan. I have to see it again so I can watch it with a little bit more critical eye. But walking out of the theater, my initial gut reaction was that's the best movie Pixar's ever made. The best one I've ever seen. And it's a little bit more mature in certain ways. It's still a kid's movie, but it's more mature. You know, in the same way that Toy Story 4 was a little bit more mature. I don't know if why Pixar is going in that direction, but I love it. Or if it's just me not understanding things from before, seeing it from a different perspective. But the movie is extremely well made, and like I said, it covers a bunch of really mature topics per se. And once again, it might be my favorite Pixar film, or I walked out of there feeling like it's the best one I've seen, at least in a very long time. And they don't put out bad movies, all right? I don't think I've seen a bad Pixar film. Mediocre, okay, good, but never bad. All right, so what makes this movie so good? What makes it so special? And in order to get into that, I need to tell you my experience going into the theater, because I saw a video before I walked into the theaters that I thought enhanced my my viewing of the movie. And so I'll share with you in hopes that it'll enhance your experience as well. And it's also very important to say, I have no idea why they're not promoting this movie more. Like, this one came out of nowhere to me. I don't know if it did the same thing to you, but it came out of nowhere to me. And so when I saw, I was prepping for it because I like prepping because I'm a weirdo whenever I'm going to go to a screening. And so I was prepping, I was seeing some stuff, some press stuff, and I saw a video, and it's this funny thing that Chris Pratt did in an interview with, like Jimmy Kimmel, where Tom Holland shows up and they do this whole bit. But afterwards, Chris Pratt starts talking about the movie, right? And more importantly than talking about the movie, he talks about the movie's director. By the way, I'm sorry if at one point I break down because this stupid movie broke me, okay? The movie fucking broke me. And I don't break easy, but okay, I'll get into that point in a minute. So, what Chris Pratt was telling Jimmy is that the movie, the director, he shared a story of his life with Chris, and what happened was that the director, he never met his father, right? He never met his dad, and so when he was growing up, he was going through some tapes, and he found a recording, and in the recording, his father, he finds the voice of his father, and he's saying only 2 words, right? He says 2 words. I won't tell you what the words are in case it changes things in the movie for you. I don't think it does, but I'll save it. If you want to watch the clip, you can watch the clip. But he says 2 words. He hears 2 words from his father. It's the only thing he ever heard from his father in his whole life, right? And so, that's a kind of an emotional thing. And the whole movie is, according to Chris Pratt, kind of a love letter to the director's older brother, right? And it shows. So, during the premiere of the movie, the brother went to the premiere of his kid brother's major film, and he didn't know that the movie was a love letter to him. He didn't know what the movie was about. He didn't know what to expect. And so the experience of watching the brother there in the theater, kind of just breaking down a little, it was really emotional. Chris Pratt gets very emotional in the video. I'm getting a little choked up. But yeah, it's a beautiful thing. So that's something that actually got me excited to watch the movie, because I love movies that have a lot of heart. And so it's like, okay, I'm stoked to see this. I want to see what a love letter to your brother is, right? And so I saw the movie, and a part of me is very, very happy that I saw it by myself, because I'm not kidding. The movie fucking broke me. It broke me, embarrassingly so, several times. And and so a part of me was like, thank God I'm here by myself. There's a whole bunch of strangers here, but nobody really cares because everybody's really in their own head. But I'm happy that I'm here by myself. But this is a movie that I have to watch it with my siblings. I just have to, even if it's just one of them. It's a movie that I really want to see with them. So I actually invited them when the movie comes out. I said, it's March 6th. It comes out. I want to go see it with you guys, because if I suffered through that, if I had to suffer, you have to suffer with me. And also because at this point I have an advantage because I already lived it. I kind of know what to expect. But all right. So what makes this movie great? And overall, this movie, what made it really special, the performances are phenomenal. Chris Pratt, we get goofy Chris Pratt. We don't get the serious Jurassic World Chris Pratt. We get closer to Parks and Rec Chris Pratt. Just, high energy, goofy older brother who is kind of a screw up. Tom Holland is the shy. It's a coming of age story. He's a kid on the verge of manhood, and he starts to realize, I don't have a dad. So the main character is based off of the director's life, right? And so when you're reaching that age, you need you start aching, let's say, for your father that you never met, and that's the journey that character's going through. He's aching he yearns to know things about his father. He wants to wear his hoodie to school. He wants to actually see what's up there. Well, where he came from. Well, what's the big deal about this guy that I've heard of my entire life? And so on his birthday, it turns, I guess I shouldn't tell you the whole plot, but let's just say an opportunity pops up where he could spend a day with his dad. However, things happen, and so now it's a race against time. So the beauty of this film is that the antagonist, there's 1,000,001 obstacles in their way, but the main antagonist here is time. And I think it's a very interesting metaphor about the time that the greatest gift you have with your family, with your loved ones, is time. But also the greatest loss that you have is that sometimes you run out of time with them and you don't really appreciate the time you have. So I thought that was a really interesting metaphor in spite of all the other obstacles. Like the movie has a ton of metaphors in it. But the thing that makes it special is how much fucking heart is in that stupid movie. Like, you can very clearly tell that the director's heart is just wide open in this movie. It's just, like I said, the best description is the one that Chris Pratt made. Like, it's a love letter to the dude's older brother, right? It's a love letter to their relationship, and son of a bitch! Okay, so it's a love letter to their relationship, and it's just a beautiful thing to witness, to see, like, I don't know, I'm a sucker, I guess, to see somebody's heart being so exposed, because it's a very brave thing to do, and so it's like, somebody's, like, raw and open. It's a beautiful thing to witness, and so I loved it. I walked out of there, and I was like, you son of a bitch, stupid dad, I couldn't hold it in. It's okay, I actually want to do another review of this one once I can actually get into the details of it, because it's a great film. It's one of those movies that when I walked out of the theater, I was like, I'm buying this fucking movie. I want to watch it again with my siblings. I think it's and I don't know what it is, honestly. I don't know if age has made me softer, or I don't know what it is, because it might be experience. It might be, loss. You realize that, or therapy, that's helped me to be, like, more in control of all that stuff and understand feelings and all that stuff a little bit better. But that fucking movie, I don't know if it just pressed the right fucking buttons for the right fucking things. And it's not necessarily sad. It's sad, but it's not necessarily tragic. It's just something, it's extremely relatable, I guess. It's an extremely relatable movie, and it's because we all have family. And we can all understand that, and we can all actually, what's the right word I'm looking for? I'll probably come back to that, but we can all relate to the experiences that these characters are going through. And honestly, the thing that gets to you is how much love is in it. It's how much genuine love is in the movie, and you can tell because Chris Pratt puts his heart in it. Tom Holland pours his heart in it. Everybody here, because this is the beauty of film. Somebody who does a project and puts, like, his heart into it, you can tell. The audiences can tell. The actors, their performances are better. Everybody. So this is what a film should be. Like, an artist bravely and brazenly opening up their heart, opening up their emotions, and expressing it to the world, because that's the only way they can actually do it. So, like I said, I love this fucking movie. I loved it. It broke me. It's breaking me right now. There's too many emotions in it. Right? So, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. Again, I don't know if it's just something that directly relates to me. I have an older brother, I have a younger brother, and I have a sister. So, I guess it could hit me in it hit me in many directions. I don't know if it's gonna be different for other people. To me, the movie is, like, maybe the greatest argument of why you should have multiple kids, or why you need siblings. The importance of siblings, the importance of family, and all right, that's it. I'm done. I'm done. It's a great film. Highly recommended. Very enjoyable experience. I hope you enjoyed. Like, honestly, check it out and tell me what you think. If I'm the only sissy here who the movie broke down, I'd rather know. Maybe it's something. Maybe it tells me something about important about myself. Something that I didn't know. That maybe there's certain buttons there that have been pressed that I should explore. But if it hits you too in a similar way, I want to know, because I want to know that I'm not alone. I want to know that there's somebody else out there. And like I said, I'm dragging my siblings there to see it. I recommend you do too. It's probably in the last decade? No, I don't know. Maybe in my entire life, I don't think I've ever actually said that. Like, this is a movie that I have to see with my siblings. So, I don't know. Take that for what you want. As always, any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Dario the Show on Instagram, at Super Dario Period World, or you can follow me on Facebook at Super Dario World. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you again on Monday.